And good morning. It is Friday as we get near the end of February. Today is the 23rd as we get underway. Let's turn that off. Get that out of the way there. It is Friday. 55 degrees as you're waking up, but it's going to be nice. We're going to get 71 before the day is over. Not bad, is it? We'll get all that laid out for you, plus take a look at your forecast here in just a moment. And we've got all the headlines of what's going on across America. Then we'll follow you back up at 7 o'clock with, well, all your local events that are going on. Let me tell you, there's a lot that has gone on over the last 48 hours, 24 hours rather, locally. So make sure to be here with us. We'd love to have you be a part of all that. Greg will be in with us this morning. I think we may even have another guest joining Greg. We'll see on that. Lisa Pike joins us. Bruce, how in the world are you? Miss Gail. Let's see here. Autry's. Also Jerome Lee, good to see you as well. As we're waking up, let's put a smile on and get after this. So many things have gone on worldwide. Did everybody got their cell phones working now? That was a mess yesterday worldwide. And I do think, we'll get into that in a second. I think there's more to that than meets the eye. I think most would agree with that. That's on the way. Let's go to Collinsville now, out to the First Baptist Church.
When the Lord designed your body, He gave you a rib cage to protect two of your most vital organs, your heart and your lungs. But in battle, that rib cage is not enough. You need something stronger. And so soldiers began to develop a part of their armor called a breastplate. It was a piece of body armor made of thick leather or wood or metal to give further protection to the chest. Now today, these are most often made of Kevlar. They give increased protection to your heart and lungs. Well, as we continue thinking about us putting on the armor of God, today we turn to the breastplate of righteousness. Righteousness, you see, acts like a breastplate because it protects us from the slings, arrows, bullets, and bombs of accusations the devil will throw at us, and he certainly will. You see, one of the devil's favorite tactics against Christians is to remind them of all the ways they have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Now, the Holy Spirit does that to bring us to Christ, but after coming to Christ, the devil does this to push us away from Christ. He wants to bring up sins that God has forgiven and forgotten, and your breastplate of righteousness protects you. Your righteousness says back to the devil that I have been redeemed, saved, forgiven, and made righteous before God. In fact, your righteousness is not even your own righteousness. It's Christ's. You see, when you come to Jesus in repentance, faith, and love, Jesus gives you His perfect, complete righteousness to cover you. And that is bulletproof. If you're a Christian, you have this righteousness. In the battle, pick it up, put it on, and be victorious. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. I always enjoy those. I hope you enjoy them as much as I do. We are getting reports of a pretty serious wreck on I-55 in Jackson. I don't have exactly the details of where that would be, but I just sent a message to someone in Jackson that maybe can give us more details on that. We're also getting early reports of a wreck that has just occurred on Highway 45 North near Lauderdale, near or around the Cefco. So if you're in that area, confirm with us that's early. I got one mention of it just a moment ago before we hit the live button. So keep that in mind if you're in that Edwards area. I mentioned that they have not gotten word yet of the wreck on 55. We'll check into that and get more information on it. Chop, and if you've got something you can give us on that, please share with us. As we begin today, this is one of those you've heard it before stories, and I urge this. It can be man, woman, as more often this happens to women than it does men. Any super joggers out there, people who get up and exercise early in the morning, don't do it by yourself. Do it in groups and teams. As we go to Athens, Georgia. Y'all ever heard of the University of Georgia? A woman went for a jog this week. She didn't return. Her body's been found in a wooded area. Murdered. It's awful. But I urge you on this. I can't tell you the amount of times that I get up and I read stories, and this is nationwide. Predators like that pick on people who are alone. And it can be a man, it can be a woman. Again, it's more often a woman, they feel like they can get away with more. That's not being feminist, it's fact. Write that down. Just don't do it alone, no matter what you do. As we look around at other headlines here, as we keep it to Georgia, there's a line in America that just keeps getting moved. Georgia, shockingly, because Georgia's had so many different things go on that kind of moved to the left. They have fired a fifth grade teacher. And you go, well, why would a fifth grade teacher be fired? She read a gender identity book to fifth graders, pictures included. Georgia said no, and they have upheld it with the school board. She's not going to be rehired. Now, we see this happening in other states to where that's a norm now. They even go further, as in renaming children. And we got some tough things to decide in America these days. What is acceptable? What is the line? Where are we willing to draw it and say this is enough? But this is happening all over America. Georgia, as I said, I thought was totally gone. That's the first sign of some common sense that I've seen there. Northern California yesterday, this breaks your heart to give you this story, as two children, juveniles, were playing. A landslide happened near a river. They both are deceased in that at this point. Almost similar to what happened this week on the beach. Y'all remember seeing that about the little girl who was playing in the sand? Same thing, just a different type of area. We send condolences to the family members on that. Airplane rides. I think most everybody, not everyone, but I would say most of Americans at some point in time have ridden an airplane in their life. Even Odie's been on one. Julia's been on one over there. Greg, we're not so sure. We're not so sure about Greg. We'll see about him when he gets in. As we look at this, they're on a plane ride, and a guy sits there, and he takes ink pens. Then he takes rubber bands and stabs someone. A homemade weapon is what that amounts to. He's been arrested. And what does that tell us with this? No matter where you are, a bad person is going to be a bad person. It doesn't take a firearm. It doesn't take a metal object to have a knife. They're going to use any means necessary to do evil. That's what happened here. An arrest has been made. Again, ink pens and a rubber band. Lord have mercy. As we go to this, pay attention to this. If you have one of these, Toshiba laptop, the adapter's there. They're catching fire. If you've got one, it's a recall on that. You won't want to have that in your home. As we see here, how anybody, you got to be confused, a troubled individual to even do this next headline as I look at this. A mother, Cleveland, Ohio is where we'll go for this story. She leaves to go on vacation. She left her toddler in a playpen. She's being charged for murder, as she should be. Things like that bother me to no end. Do y'all remember the call that went out the last election to where it was Joe Biden's voice anyway, made these robocalls to everybody urging people to vote, and they were going, how did this happen? It was AI. Well, they've tracked down the guy that done it, and he says that he was hired by a Democratic operative to do it. Is he lying? Who knows? At the end of the day, they got away with it. Expect more of that as elections approach us for next year. That's coming. Yeah, I'm not even going to touch that one this morning. Did y'all see this as I look at Daily Mail? I've seen her face for years. She's not one of those. I don't watch CBS enough to catch it, but she worked for CBS. Her name is Catherine Herridge, I believe. She's a veteran reporter. She's been there forever. And let me show you her picture. Y'all recognize this lady? They have let her go. They've also demanded her personal notes. As a matter of fact, they took them on her investigation skills. Boy, oh boy. It's a lot of that going around. The headline reads, they fire her, seized all of her paperwork that dealt with the Biden family. Something to think on, isn't it? Did she make somebody mad? I don't know. They fired several other people, but her being the one that they took the papers there. Imagine this, a family from Canada, always complaining about what's going on, so they decided they'd move to Russia because life was going to be better there. Well, they got there, and what happened? Well, the Russian government seized all of their money because they said, well, something looks suspicious. They're flat broke and they have nothing. when they beg for forgiveness, don't ever talk about the government there. They'll take your assets. What's always greener on the other side is not. There's so few people, and there's those who live here in the United States that don't get it of just how wonderful our nation is. Now, Canada may have a few issues, but overall, it's a pretty good place. It's 10 times better than anywhere in Russia. Wouldn't you agree? Don't complain. Or what's that old term? Don't fight the hand that feeds you. And in America, it's fighting, it's biting, it's doing a lot of things. We'll be right back as we'll get into your forecast next here at the Scotty Ray Report. Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back.
At the Back Porch, we're bringing families back together for fun, food, and all the things you love to enjoy around your home. Every event starts with a great grill, great cookware, and accessories. Add in some locally sourced meat and dairy, along with frozen vegetables and casseroles, and over 500 brands of spices and sauces. Relax in our chairs, swings, day beds, and have fun with our cornhole boards. From coolers to trailers, we have everything you need. When you see the big chair, you've made it to the Back Porch.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
And welcome back as we begin our forecast. Again, 55 right now as we begin this day. Isn't it nice outside? Now, we'll get to somewhere around 71 before it's all said and done. Nice weather. Let's go back and look at our headlines of what happened in weather today. What was the high? What was the low? Here we go as we pull this up. We go back to 2018 for a warm day. It was 86. Back in 63, it was pretty chilly. We've seen several days it was cold during that. 15 back in 63 on this day. Now, as we move forward, we're looking here. Birmingham, we're showing about 67. Not sure how that slide got there. We should see 71 in the Meridian area today as we clock that. Seriously, I don't know what happened. I had something disappear on me, Odie.
Well, you can tell it's a little warmer because you're a little flush.
It flushed me, all right. It wasn't supposed to happen. I don't know where it went. As we look at our forecast for the next 10 days, let's pull this up as we look at this. Warmer weather across Mississippi. Now, it's going to be even warmer as you go up through the Carolinas, but we are above normal. Out to our west, California still hovering at cooler temperatures, kind of normal in West Texas at this point, South Texas there. As we come across, here's our 7-day forecast today, 70 to 71. We'll get down to 68 tomorrow. But we're back to 73 on Sunday. But look at these 2 days. If you've got an outside event for any day this weekend, it's perfect. 68 to 73. Perfect. Monday, look at this. 78. We'll even make it to 80 degrees on Tuesday. Perfect. Now, our biggest chance of some thunderstorm activity will be Wednesday. I wouldn't bet the farm on anything being horrific at this point. Most of this is going to stay far well north of us. But we'll watch it. It's Mother Nature. Anything can happen. The best chance of any severe weather would be on Wednesday night. We'll watch it very closely as we move into Thursday morning. But again, it's a slight chance, and most of this will be north of us. As we look at things all the way through the 8th, a big 70% chance of rain coming in with March. It comes in with a bang. Wet weather for about 5 days there. Look at that. All the way through the 5th there, we'll have chances of showers of about 50% each day, even almost making 60 at one point. By the 7th, things start to taper off, and we'll see a partly cloudy sky there, and whoop, what's that? Rain the next day. So it looks to be, at this point, it could be a wet March, or at least the first week or so into it. We'll watch it closely and let you know. As we get into the fishing forecast today, Chet tells us, let's see. Perfect fishing time is going to be right around high noon today. 11:30, be there, and it will be good to about 1:40, all the way up till about 2 o'clock. Now, your next major time will be after dark, so it's not going to be all that great. Your next slight chance of rain, of best fishing weather would be at 6:30. It's just about dark now at 6:30, isn't it? Yeah. We're holding on. What is our day that we get to come back with daylight savings? March what? Is it the 18th-ish? It's somewhere right along in there. We don't really lack all that much long. I'm so ready for it. And then I guess we'll have to get used to not going to bed. It turns dark in the winter, and it just automatically makes you sleepy. You think, I should be in the bed. This is over. The day is gone. And before long, it'll be daylight till about 8. March 10th is it. March 10th is the day. There we go. Dot, thank you. Also, Angie. Y'all are good at that. It's not all that far off. Now, we're getting ready for a big morning show. I want y'all to join us with this because there's so much that has gone on in the last 24 hours. We've got someone shot. We've had multiple gunshots throughout the area overnight. We're going to tell you all about this. We've had an arrest in Clark County. Did you know about that? We got the details of all of this and so much more kicking off this morning, starting at 7. Won't you join us? It's all happening here at the Scotty Ray Report. We'll see you soon.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.